Greetings. My name is Joyce. Mark knew me as Joyce Hugh. I'm Joyce Leard. And I believe I'm the one in here who's known Mark for the longest. I've known him for 39 years. So you can count from that. I met him in 19, I better not say then when I met him. But, but you know, I learned a lesson after I hooked up back with Mark, because in I think it was 72, 73, I lost touch with Mark after going to his dad's church for several years. And when I saw him and I saw what God had done to this young person, how he yielded to God, because I knew him as a child, and look at what God has produced to work with young people, it changed my attitude. Sometimes we look at young people and say, oh, the ones that get in trouble. He didn't really get in trouble, but there is potential if God uses that child who has yielded fully to God. And that is what spoke to me. And I look at every child so differently now. And I wish I did too when I was teaching. Because sometimes, you know, they rub you with a grater and just rub your skin the wrong way. But there is potential in every child who yields. Yesterday when that little fellow made that heart, oh, my heart blew. So every person I see it's a vessel to be used by God. And when I met Mark, I used to be able to, I think, lift him. I'll tell you the truth, but I wouldn't even dare try to lift just a leg now. Well, he's too tall, he's too big, I can't. Now, 4 years ago, I saw Mark after about 1972. And when I saw him preaching and running across the stage, I said, God has used that child, his witness, when God said, ye are my witnesses, whom I have chosen. And it is what Mark did with that calling that God gave him. Had he just thrown it aside and misused it, it would never be. The souls he have reaped from Jamaica, he has reaped from Jamaica. God Almighty has used that child, that grown man now, with all the interns. And I call it in my little country of Jamaica. When I left Jamaica back in 1962, the situation there, it was a beautiful country. But after 62, let's say in the late 60s, Jamaica went to nothing. And when Mark went back to work in Jamaica 19 years ago, he said, that is what God had in mind, because there's a lot of, it's a very religious country, but Mark has sparked the true gospel. He took it down there for those people. And through his radio, he did well. But now, you see, Mark is a TV person. And he does better, I believe, in helping God, using God, I should say, to be used by God through TV. And what is really good, too, when he's on TV, he mingles with the people and they know he is real. It's not a show on TV because they see the real person when he goes up to Lethe and Orange and all those places. And he is a humble man whom God used, and they realize he is just like them with the truth, the gospel of Jesus Christ. And my little country, when I was there, it was a paradise. But as I said, they do need Jesus Christ to bring a change. And what is great, get them when they are young and pliable, to give them the truth of God. And That is the blessing of Mark by God to get the young people. Even here too in America, we get them when they're young and pliable, that they'll be more receptive. Now, when I saw Mark after about 19, 20 years, and he was back and forth on that, I wasn't sure still. But just things he said, I realized this was the Mark I knew as a child. But Mark has a brain. I'll tell you, he never forgets anything. And when I went up to him and asked him if he remembered me, he hollered my name after all those years, because I hadn't seen anything for about 20 years. And when he hollered my name, I thought he had cheated, using his, but he did not. God has given Mark, God's marking on him, his mark, and God has also given him the gift of remembrance and to speak, because it does so well with people when they remember you after a long time. And I pray blessings on Mark for his work in my little Jamaica. It breaks my heart, as I said, but I know Mark is doing a wonderful job there. And from now until the end, it's friend forever through God Almighty.